Hello and welcome to another update video about Solana. Solana, obviously, when it came down here after its all-time high, has moved in this channel. We then talked about this descending wedge, a potential reversal pattern. As expected, out of this descending wedge, the price did eventually break to the upside after it found support at the 20-day moving average before it broke out, and is now trying to exit and get out of my target area here. This target area here as a whole was the target area that we defined back in November. And when we talked about this is the area where Solana with the highest likelihood could turn around. Now, Solana is at the moment at a tipping point. There is no confirmation yet that it has turned around yet, which I mean is that do we get into new sustainable all-time highs? So that is absolutely not confirmed yet. There is still a lot of downside potential, and the risk that we come down once more is still very likely and very much there. Still, my expectation would be that we come once more deeper into the target area, and the reason for that is because Solana did turn around here in the middle of nowhere, not at a key Fibonacci support level. That would be at $55. That would be the next one. And so far, it's still very early days anyway. But it doesn't mean that, you know, we naively have to believe it is coming down once more, because Solana did fulfill the minimum requirements of its correction. It did a very nice ABC correction. It finished it off. It doesn't need to come lower anymore to complete the correction, but in my opinion, the likelihood is still very, very high. If we go into the more imminent price moves, let's take a look at that, because here we can see a few things. The first thing is that it obviously did not manage to break above the 105 US dollar level. In the last video, I told you that this is a very important resistance level, and that would be the next resistance after Solana breaks out of this target area again, which ends at $100. It tried to reach the 105. What it did, got rejected. It tried it again and got rejected again. So this moving above this previous high, which is at 105 US dollars. I mean, we had resistance here. We had resistance here. That was very important. And also here we had resistance, but it didn't manage to do so. Okay. And if I now zoom in, you can see that Solana tried it, failed, got rejected, dropped back into the target area at $97. And is currently trying to get up there again, but made so far only a lower high. That generally is not a sign of strength in my opinion. And also what we could see here on the chart, you see here, and if I go to the 1 hour chart, it might get a bit more clear. Two ascending broadening wedges. So an ascending broadening wedge, I mean, we can see here it broke out to the downside. It is more likely than not a bearish pattern, which oftentimes breaks to the downside. It doesn't need to break to the downside, but when you have an ascending broadening wedge, pretty much like an ascending wedge, which is just the opposite, which is contracting instead of broadening, they would more likely than not break to the downside. And this one worked out, it broke to the downside. Also this one here, in my opinion, broke to the downside. I think what we are doing now, unless we can get above this level at $102.50, I think all we're doing here is retesting this currently from below. And after this, it could really start to get down again. Where could we get to? In my opinion, if this really is a breakout to the downside, we can fall quite sharply. Did that before here in this ascending broadening wedge where we fell. How much did we fall? Around 5 to 6%. I think if we fall again, we could easily get to the support level again here, to that previous low. This is typically the first target of a breakout of a wedge, the beginning of the wedge, which would be down here around the area of 97, 98 US dollars. So this is more imminently what is happening here. Breaking out of these descending wedges, ascending broadening wedges, two bearish patterns. This worked out. This one could work out now. I think we're just retesting it from below, and that could then take us back again into the target area. Certainly not a sign of strength what the chart is doing here at the moment, especially not with that lower high here. Yeah. Looking here on the 4 hour chart as well, you can see we are currently in a phase of negative momentum on the MACD. Also, it's not very clear if the MACD is reducing that negative momentum again. So at the moment, I think not yet. The 8 hour chart is constantly reducing positive momentum. So this might actually be turning around, but it's a little bit neutral at the moment, moving sideways. So not a clear sign. I think the chart itself doesn't really know what it's gonna do now. On the daily, we also see the first bar again of decreasing positive momentum. So yeah, I think we just need to observe now what the price is doing. I think my feeling is, if this retesting is obviously successful, retesting that previous support as resistance, we could see a bit of a price drop all the way down to 97, 98 US dollars for Solana, where we can then look again how the price is going to react to that level. But I think there is certainly a bit of a weakness that it struggled here to make a higher high. Yeah, so where it obviously got rejected first, this was quite a strong rejection from that 105 US dollar level, and then not even being able to get to the same level again is a bearish sign. And actually, as we are talking here, the price is coming down a little bit. Nothing too crazy. We need to bear in mind that on the weekends, markets can move a little bit less predictable and there is less volume generally. So while we don't really have a volume confirmation as we are breaking out here of that descending wedge to the downside, we don't necessarily need one because it is a move down instead of up. We had a volume confirmation here. You can see that clearly how the negative or the volume increased when we dropped out. That's why we went down very fast. At the moment, there is virtually hardly any volume, yeah, across the crypto market anyway. So yeah, it can move a little bit unpredictably, but this is certainly an important level we need to watch out for. In addition to that, I think what the price is doing here, you could even see that potentially as a descending triangle, yeah, which is also rather bearish, yeah. So you can watch that. At the moment, I would personally now want to see what's going to happen next, because I think this is going to break to the downside. But of course, we never know until a breakout is happening. But you've got two bearish patterns here on the chart, and we haven't even broken that important 105 US dollar level. Should Solana still, for whatever reason, however, break that 105 US dollar level, I think then the next target, the next important level that Solana will get to is that 122 US dollar level. So that's my view here on Solana at the moment. Hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, subscribe, and if you really like the content, then check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.